Hey, what's up? It's Jake from devops, and I am learning Kubernetes. So today we are going to deploy a GKE cluster with Terraform. I've never done this before, but I've used Terraform a million times, and I'm fairly familiar with Kubernetes now, so I should be able to figure this out. So let's go do some click ops and see what GKE looks like. First, we're going to enable the API. Okay, all set. I'm just going to pin this real quick. All right, so let's just get right into this. Let's say I want to click on clusters and I want to make a cluster. I like to do click ops because you can figure out what the requirements are. So the first thing they're trying to hit us with is some autopilot bullshit, which costs extra money, and we're trying to administer the cluster, so we want fine-grained access. So we're going to be using standard. There's a whole document on this that tells you what the differences are and all the other stuff, and you can feel free to read through it, but I just read through it and I know what I need to know. So as you can see here at the top, there's an option to switch to standard cluster, which we're going to do because it's cheaper and we want administration access. Okay, cool. Let's check out the Terraform provider. So you can remove the default node pool. Let's try this. Let's literally copy this. My GKE cluster in US West 1. Alright, here we go. You can see here that the cluster is being created. Cluster creation can take 5 minutes or more. Well, I guess now is just as good a time as any to catch up on Skeleton Crew because this deployment is taking forever. So I got an error saying that US West 1 didn't have enough resources to create a cluster. So I went ahead and changed it to US Central 1 and it's deploying right now. Here you can see I've got my US West 1 is being deleted. US Central 1 is being created. According to ChatGPT, there's a couple ways I can make this smaller and less expensive. So I'm going to go ahead and make these changes to my code, and then after we confirm that the existing cluster works and we can access it, we'll go ahead and try to make one with preemptible VMs a smaller node pool and turn auto scaling back down to 0. Okay, let's go find out what a cordon status is. Okay, so basically you can't schedule anything on them. Alright, so it looks like in order to connect, not only does my cluster need to finish being created, but I need to get an auth plugin installed. Alright, let's open PowerShell as an administrator. And say yes. Alright, cluster looks like it's done, just in time. So now, I can attempt to connect with this guy. Kubeconfig entry generated for my GKE cluster. Get nodes. No resources found. kubectl get all. All right, we are in. So we have deployed with these really 6 lines of code a GKE cluster, and I have a ton of stuff pending. It just got up, but we have ourselves connection. All I had to do was run this one command that I ran by just clicking connect, and I ran that from the command line, and now I have access to it from the command line. So I can do all of my practice on a GKE cluster, which is great. So I'm going to stop there for now. I know that's like a very small step, but it's a step in the right direction because I'm off of Minikube and now I'm into GKE. So next step is going to be doing a Terraform destroy so I don't get billed for anything in the future. And then I'm going to reprovision, and I'm going to try to use preemptible VMs and a couple other things to reduce cost. And yeah, we'll go from there. So once it's up, then we can start playing around with some ingress stuff. My goal is to get an application running that I can hit in my web browser that goes ingress to an internal service to hit my pods behind a deployment. So that's my goal, to do all that in GKE. So we'll see how it goes. If you have any questions, let me know. If you have any recommendations, let me know. And if not, my name is Jake from Devops, and I'm learning Kubernetes.